find out.
Call this meeting of the Redford Township Board of Trustees to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as the Honorable Linda Jackson gives us our invocation.
Almighty God, we acknowledge that you will hold us to account for the way we legislate and administer the affairs of our township and its fine people. We pray for your guidance as we do so. We pray that you will find us protecting the rights of all at all times, that our community and this nation will fulfill all of your purposes. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Yes.
Okay.
Clerk Sanders, please take the roll.
No.
Trustee Taylor.
Here.
Trustee Reese.
Here.
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Here.
Trustee King.
Here.
Clerk Sanders here. Trustee Jackson.
Here,
Supervisor McCray.
Here, the forum is present.
To the chair.
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
If you would, Supervisor, I would like to ask for a couple moments of silence. In December of 2024, we lost several people that were integral to Redford Township. If you please, if I could read them off.
Please do.
All right. First of all would be James, we would call him Jim Kernan. He was long-time employed by Redford Township. He passed on December 8th of 2024. Retired Redford Animal Control Officer Al Perchikoff. He passed away on December 10th of 2024. Kelly, that works in the Water Admin Department, lost her father on December 7th. He was 102. Melinda, that works in the Water Admin Department, lost her father this last Saturday. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, next would be the approval of agenda. I do know that one thing for sure is new business number one.
Two.
Two is we're removing new business number 2 from the agenda. And Treasurer Kavanaugh, you had something?
Yes, I would like to move number 15 of the consent agenda item to be moved as new business number 11.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we need a motion to accept the agenda as revised.
to the chair.
Trustee Jackson.
I move that we approve the agenda as revised.
Support.
Support by Clerk Sanders. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have citizen comments. First is Jen Mansfield. And I read it that way, Chief, because that's what you wrote.
It just seemed like way too much extra effort to put my title on there. It's all good. Good evening, Honorable Board. Just wanted to step up here and remind everybody about our Citizens Police Academy. Those applications are up. They will be available by website. They're on social media. You can get them at the police station, all kinds of things. This is a 10-week program that gives you guys an in-depth look at how not only law enforcement works, but also here in Redford Township specifically. We have lots of graduates from this program in the room, and I'm sure that a lot of them will be happy to talk to you about it as I'm watching heads nodding around the room. So please take a second to check it out. Redford TV was kind enough to do a video, so that's on the website too if you want to hear more about it. And secondly, just real quick, our PD has partnered with the National Sheriff's Association in a Move Over Drive Safe traffic campaign. You guys are going to be seeing RPD sharing some different traffic tips from multiple agencies throughout the Southeast Michigan. It's actually really cool because this is based on Wayne County. And depending on how well the campaign goes in Wayne County, they actually are looking to make this go national. So if you guys have a few minutes, in the back, on there, there's a flyer with a QR code. They want a survey done. 2-3 seconds. I already had a couple people do it in here today. So thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jessica Amity? Amy. Okay.
Hello.
Name
I'm
and address,
Jessica.
please, okay?
I'm sorry?
Name and address for the record.
Jessica Amy, 26426 Graham Road. So I live in the neighborhood over here. And me and my partner like to go to the trail on Bells Creek. But sometimes after, we have to cross 5 Mile to get there. And I don't know what time it is, but the crosswalk at Delaware and 5 Mile changes to a blinking red, and that means the pedestrian walk is no longer on. So sometimes we feel unsafe crossing 5 Mile and would like to have that pedestrian walkway there permanently, or to have a separate one closer to the trail, and maybe this becomes a part of the trail itself to have a safer way to get there.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Teresa Stokes.
Good evening, Honorable Board. I'm coming before you today to remind everyone here and at home about the annual Martin Luther King breakfast that's being held next Monday, January 20th at Thurston High School. We did push the time back a little bit, so it is now starting at 9 a.m. We'll have both Thurston and Redford Union High School choirs singing. The Pierce dance team will be performing, and we'll have poetry from some of the students at Pierce as well, and prayers for the new year. So it's $12 a person, which includes the program and breakfast, and then the proceeds benefit Redford Interfaith Relief. So we hope to see everybody there.
Thank you. That concludes citizen comments. Director Dennis with the Public Service Report.
Mr. Supervisor, Honorable Board, I've been tasked with giving a DPS presentation on the building, DPW sanitation, central maintenance divisions. We have done one already for water and sewer a few months back. So this is the second half right now of public services. I will be very brief today, so we can expedite the meeting. So I just want to touch base on a handful of things that have occurred in regards to calendar year 2024. So just to bring, because we do have a couple new trustees on the board, just to give you a little update on what happens down at our building. So first and foremost, like I've already brought up water and sewer, we talked about many projects and tasks that we are going under right now and working on. The building department, we in turn we are not fully staffed. Right now, we are advertising for a full-time plumbing inspector. We are working with a couple contractors right now to help us out. We have been advertising for 11 months and have had a few applications, but that do not qualify. So we are still advertising for a full-time plumbing inspector. We do have a building superintendent, 5 building and trade inspectors, 2 code enforcement officers, and 4 office clerks. Obviously, their duties entail building inspections, rental inspections, code enforcement activities, site zoning, plan reviews. We have 3 full-time staff on our public works staff, all maintenance worker 2s, and actually you'll see them cutting grass at various Redford Township sites, Wayne County. Wayne County does have a hard time cutting properties that they own via land bank and things of that nature, corridors. So we are handling approximately 50 to 60 properties every 2 weeks that we cut, from roughly mid-April or so through mid-October. Our staff is cutting. That's just the public works, not counting obviously Teresa's staff that is handling all the parks and things of that nature. Corridor cleanup, garbage removal, facility repairs, snow. I think we used about 10 pounds of salt out front this afternoon. And Redford Interfaith Relief food pickup, just to name a handful of other items. Sanitation solid waste, as many of you know, last year, Priority Waste acquired GFL, pretty much the Southeast Michigan region, and they got in over their head. It was out there, Channel 247, social media, you name it. We had meetings with Priority Waste internally. They made some gains, and they will even tell you that they jumped in this way too quick. They should have done a 90 to 120-day acquisition. They did a 30-day acquisition. They should have never done it. They were not prepared. They didn't do their due diligence, and they will, if they were staying right here, would tell you the same thing. That's what they have told us. They made some wholesale changes, brought in some new people, and I'm hopefully most of the heartache is past us. And when we start the first week of April with our compost, we are starting strong, starting in 2025, April of 2025. We still have a full two-year plus on the contract. It is a very good contract, and I will tell you this, and both Director Bonerick, Supervisor McCray, and I went through it. Priority Waste was the second bidder when we did this back in 2022, and was just percentage points higher than GFL. So we are really hoping that they're doing the promises. They are, just to let you know, they have put cameras on all their trucks. They're quite helpful, I will tell you. They have front, back, sides, and they've been beneficial. And when residents or if they are missing, they do acknowledge that they did miss a stop. So that is a bonus having this company compared to GFL on that side. Central maintenance with our mechanics are always quite busy. They do handle all of the vehicles and equipment from multiple departments, including public services, parks, police, fire, and court. They're doing a great job over there. We have two Mechanic 4 and Mechanic 5. I do want to touch base a tad regarding the public services itself. I did touch base a little bit back in June, but Wayne County Forestry is still taking down trees, dead trees identified by their office. It may take a year or two, but they do have a contractor, and this contract expired this year, and they're going back out to bid. One of the things that has been brought up by the supervisor also is when they tear down a tree, they take away all the wood and they grind the stump up, they leave a nice mound of all the grinding sitting there. It's not in their contract. No one really has a place to put them. It's not something you just start handling up and handling our back 40 or Wayne County. I've been told from the county that their new contract will include the contractor taking the grindings with him, and it'll be up to the property owner then to put down topsoil and seed to do that. So I have been told that will occur in 2025. It should be a 3-year contract. But they're doing a very good job. They help us out when we have water main breaks. Just on Sunday, it took them 6 hours to take down the large tree that we had a water main break on. We obviously couldn't get to it until the tree was down. They came in on Sunday at 2 o'clock, left 7 or 8 o'clock by the time they get the large tree down. So they're a big help for us. Parks, I'll bring it up again. They were really helpful. It was brought to our attention from actually, Jason Eiding and the Western Golf Course staff that there was a very large log jam on the Terrabusi Creek, which to locate to you is east of Western Golf Course. East, it's between Sarasota and Ross Drive. You could actually see it on Google Earth once it was identified to us. The county came through. It took a little bit of time. They allocated the resources, and we were very happy they did that for us. Opened up the creek. I can tell you there was probably 100 Pro Vs sitting in the creek. Oh, at least at a minimum down at that end. So there was it was nice to get that cleaned up from them. Couple road projects. 5 Mile Road Bridge has been brought up a few times. Has been pulled from being completed right now. They don't have a start date. It's been concerned to a budget issue at the county level to not replace that. I found this out just before Christmas. Wasn't exactly happy because we just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to move a water main that was in the way of their bridge, to make the bridge bigger with their supports. So we're waiting to hear further regarding the 5-mile bridge that is just east of Meadowbrook, Fox and Meadowbrook, on the 5-mile road itself. So that will stay tuned. The county will be repaving. They were supposed to do on Inkster Road from Joy Road to West Chicago last year, and they felt it just didn't get done. So this year they're supposed to be doing from West Chicago to Schoolcraft all the way. So now they're supposedly doing 2 miles of repaving on Inkster Road from Schoolcraft to Joy Road this year. That's their plan so far. I do want to thank them for paving Beach Daily Road from 7 mile to 8 mile this past fall. That was a nice project that they added on. And and I did add on again regarding West Chicago and Schoolcraft. Lastly, I do want to bring up that a program that we used to have was the Township's Road Initiative that allowed us to pave 2 to 3 miles of secondary roads. We would choose maybe a few blocks, North Redford, Central Redford, and South Redford, and it would be asphalt completed by Wayne County. The county has not done that program since 2020, allocated their funds elsewhere, still had no plans. I have been informed by Wayne County that they're supposed to bring the program back and fund it again in 2025. We are waiting to see if this is actually happening, but if so, we do have a list, and we will share it with the county, and they'll do the work. It's usually in the fall, and we give them, it's a handful of blocks. Let's say, for example, we did this in 2019. They did, Norbourne and Macon from Curtis to Bennett. That was real bad. And then we found Graham, and we did some more Minnox Circle and a few things like that. So that was in 2019. So we're really hoping that the county's going to step up and do that program. So, and then lastly, there was just a sheet for your reference, just in the back, just spoke about the building department ordinance enforcement did for the calendar year between ordinance enforcement, inspections of permits, and rental program. That is my presentation.
Well, I guess.
Keep it short.
Yes. I just feel I need to talk a minute about the sanitation problem with our contractor. They didn't go along, they didn't do the job that they said they were going to do, and it wasn't like they did us a favor and they fixed it. Between myself and Director Dennis, we had more than one meeting with them, and some letters were sent, and we had to do some other things about sending our own people out at times because they kept missing targets, and we billed them back for whatever it costs our people to go out and look at garbage to make sure they were picked up in the area. So transition, I don't want anybody to feel too bad for them, because it's a business. They should know what their business is, because all of our residents suffered because they made a bad choice. And between persistence from the building department and myself, that we were able to make this happen. And it's real important that people know. I mean, people that didn't get their trash picked up, they'll tell you about the horror stories. And now, as far as I know, I'm not getting those calls every day about my trash has been sitting here for 2 weeks. So they made the adjustment, but it wasn't like they willingly did the adjustment. They were pushed and prodded and poked to make sure they did their job. So I think it's important to say that, because it wasn't that easy. They made a mistake thing.
And they still have some things they have to correct.
That's correct.
They're not out of the woods yet.
Right. And we feel that I did, and you and many others fielded a lot of calls from people that were unhappy on a day-to-day basis, and I don't want that to get lost in the shuffle, because it was a lot of work and a lot of people unhappy that lived with that nonsense for months.
Agreed.
So that's what I get to say. But other than that, I'd like to report. Anybody else have anything to say from the board?
To the chair.
Oh, goodness. Okay, we'll start with Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Mike, just really quickly, is there any way that your report or something can be given out to the board of what businesses might be coming into the township? Because I know that before the holidays that Ross Department Store came in, but there was nothing that told us that they were coming or to go to their grand opening until last minute. Is there any way that we can get some communications with mom and pop stores or any businesses that are coming into Redford for sure?
Well, it's advertised on, site committee. I mean, we don't know when they're going to open. I mean, obviously, once we do our part of going through, it's up to them when they're going to open. We can provide a list yearly or quarterly, whatever it is, of businesses that came to site committee, but I can't tell you when they're going to open. I really, not that, I care, but not that I'm going to know and reach out to the corporate office, say, hey, when are you going to open? I would have hoped that a business of that size would have reached out to a local chamber of commerce, et cetera, come on out and see us. But it is something that we do have through, site committee. We can provide it if needed. Yes.
Okay, that would be great,
No,
thank
no
you.
problem. You got it.
Trustee Taylor.
Just a couple of things. With the need for a full-time plumbing inspector, is this delaying any kind of site improvements for new businesses or residents? How are we compensating for not having a plumbing inspector?
Well, we have two contractors part-time that are helping us out that work for a different city.
So we are
And they're- and- yeah,
subcontracting
Oh, yeah,
that.
we're
Okay.
meeting all the obligations. We were not for a little bit.
Okay.
Bill Miller was helping us out, who is a retired inspector. He's still helping us, but we did, the other gentleman, we are doing plumbing inspections 3 to 4 days a week.
Okay, so they're not delayed any longer?
No, we are
Okay.
on task.
Okay, regarding, I just wanted to let residents know, a part of your DPS road report here, that I don't know how many residents know, because I didn't actually even know that you can actually call that Wayne County Road Crew to have
Oh.
potholes done in your neighborhood.
I
I had
drove right
a
over
huge
that.
one on my side street, and they were out within 3 days once I reported it, which is really helpful if they're not going to be paving. I've driven through some neighborhoods that are scary, that the residents, it's up to the residents to call to get those holes filled.
They
If they're
do
not gonna be
travel,
paving.
like during the times that are a little bit slower. Wayne County does send their crews, down the streets with cold patch. The better way to do this is just like you stated, you call, it's a toll-free number 24/7, they answer. I think they state that they did 160,000 potholes in all of the county a few years ago. They pride themselves on filling potholes. It's something that they have the crew to do. Yeah. And that's
then-
trees also, I'm not trying to interrupt.
No.
It's also, you have a tree issue, flooding, stormwater, any sort of issues, that's Wayne County. They ask that you call because they assign a number to that. So if you called today about, hey, I have a limb that fell out of my right-of-way tree, that's big, you can't deal with it, they assign you a number, say they don't come out in 30 days, you call back with that number,
Yeah.
they can reference it and find out, why was this not done? And that's their tracking system.
Yeah, it did that. It like signed a number and then it said completed, and so it was kind of like using our T-Click Fix. You can follow along the process.
Yes.
So I was really happy with that because it was a huge hole on our side street. And lastly, regarding the rental program, I see that we charge an annual registration fee, but we're only doing inspections every 3 years. Is there a reason for that? It seems like it'd be just, what are we charging a fee for if we're not going out to verify that these
Rental.
houses are still in
Well,
compliance?
because we can't inspect, 3,000 some odd homes per year.
Right.
So it's every 3 years, so you're doing 1,000 or so per year. Because it's to keep
Oh,
it
they're
updated.
staggered?
They're staggered, every 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so then the third year, then they pay their renewal fee, inspection fee, and then the process starts again.
So what's the annual registration fee for?
Verifying, you make sure that James Smith has turned in his registration, because we know it is a non-homestead property. James Smith owns it. Yes, it's a registered rental. Now we know who's in that home. They also turn in who the tenant is. So if there's an issue there, we can call the tenant and/or the property manager or the owner.
If there's a change in tenant, do we go back out for an inspection at that point?
No.
We don't. It's always just a flat 3 years from, no matter how many times that home is turned over.
And if there's issues, we have tenants who call, yeah, problem here and here, we go out there. But no, it's a 3-year inspection process.
Okay. And then the registration, do they have to submit a new one if there's a turnover for tenant? They do?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You got it?
Trustee Jackson.
Just one quick question. Does Wayne County reimburse us for cutting their lots?
No. They don't collect tax money to do that. So at times, the land bank will assist you and try to, if they have money. The land bank job isn't to really, and they say it's to make money, but it's not. It's to dispose of that property. But past that, on corridors, lots, things of that nature, it probably went through the tax foreclosure. And if it didn't, the state didn't purchase it or acquire it, Redford, it goes to the county, and the county owns a parcel, say at, Knight Street up here. All right, they own a lot over there. They're not gonna cut it. It gets to be a foot tall. Neighbors call, okay, we'll go there, we'll add it to our cut list. And then while our folks are all, categorized into their districts, we'll cut it because it's on their list, this corner there, and they cut it and they move on. So, but no, they do not reimburse us for anything.
They should.
Love to, it'd be great.
Yes, we would.
So,
They should.
Other questions from the board? Hearing none?
Thank you, I
Mike.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks to you and the crew to do all that work. Okay. Consent agenda, so please bear with us. This is a very long one, and Treasurer Kavanaugh is gonna
Try to get through.
try to get through it. So Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Thank you, Supervisor McCray. I move to approve the consent agenda items as amended. The minutes of the study session of December 10th of 2024, the minutes of the special meeting of December 10th of 2024, the minutes of the regular meeting of December 10th of 2024, the minutes of the special meeting December 9th of 2024, the warrant list of bills as of January 9th of 2024 in the amount of $12,216,679. Reappointment of Belinda, Sheila Kane, Lynn Ellen, and Martha Sweck to the Board of Review, term ending 12/31 of 26. Reappointment of Kathy Anderson, Julie Fountain Atkinson, and Amanda Flesher to the Historical Commission, term ending 1/14 of 28. Reappointment of Dwayne Gregg to the Civil Service Commission, term ending 12/31 of 2030.
30. Wow. Oh, yeah. That's
Sorry about
okay.
that.
He's
Sorry
gonna
about
stay,
that.
he's a good guy.
Reappointment of Sarah Goad and Jeanette Davenport and Chastity Youngblood to the Diversity and Equity and Inclusion Commission, term ending 2/28 of 2027. The reappointment of David Allen to the Planning Commission, term ending 8/31 of 2026. Reappointment of Heather Christie to the Planning Commission, term ending 12/31 of 2027. Reappointment of Harold Pagel to the Planning Commission, term ending 8/31 of 2028. Reappointment of Sean Griffin and Jennifer Lawson to the Planning Commission, term ending 8/31 of 2027. Request to extend the due date of the 2024 winter tax statement from February 14th of 2025 to February 28th of 2025 without penalties.
Support.
Been supported. Discussion. That was a big list. Good job, Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Thank you.
Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Going to new business number 1, approval of the resolution of necessity for the Central CSO Basin and Sewer Collection Project. Mr. Dennis and the attorney.
Mr. Supervisor, Honorable Board, I once again want to introduce Jerry Pesic, who's our attorney representing Redford regarding the CSO Basin and Collector Sewer Project. Jerry will be reviewing a document for you concerning our Central CSO Basin and Sewer Collector Project. So I'm going to introduce Jerry and I'll let him handle any details at this point.
Good evening, members of the board. Again, I'm Jerry Pesic. I'm a shareholder in the law firm Williams, Ratner and Plunkett, which is located in Birmingham, Michigan. I'm here tonight regarding the proposed, the township's proposed improvements to its central combined sewer overflow basin and the need to acquire certain easements from the Western Golf and Country Club in order to facilitate the construction of those improvements. You have before you a resolution of necessity, the purposes of which to establish the public necessity and purpose to acquire certain easements for the combined sewer and overflow project. Those easements, as I mentioned, will be acquired from the Western Golf and Country Club. We are also, the resolution also authorizes my law firm, if necessary, to initiate eminent domain proceedings to acquire those easements. The resolution necessity is effectively the first step in initiating an eminent domain process. We would ask that you approve the requested resolution so we can move forward with the project. If there's any questions, I can take them at this time.
Questions from the board? Okay. Hearing no questions from the board, what's the board's pleasure?
To the chair,
Trustee Taylor?
I move that we approve the resolution of necessity for the Central CSO Basin and Sewer Collection Project.
Support.
Supported by Clerk Sanders. So the motion is to approve, for approval of the resolution of necessity for the Central CSO Basin and Sewer Collector Project. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Next up is the appointment of Kimberly Swift to the festival. Mr. Director Dennis.
Mr. Supervisor, Honorable Board, turning is a memo requesting the approval of Ms. Kimberly Swift to the Redford Township Festival Committee. Ms. Swift was at our festival committee meeting earlier this month, expressed an interest to join us, took a big liking to the committee, and Kimberly is here. She's not. Okay. I apologize, she is not here. She actually has got to know a few of the other members on our committee, and I think she'd be a very welcome addition to our committee. She jumped in with both feet on her first meeting. It was great to see, and has already sent out a few emails with some ideas. So I'm hoping this board will approve the appointment of Ms. Swift to the Redford Township Festival Committee.
Questions from the board? It's always good when we have new people that want to volunteer to get involved in our community, and I encourage everybody that isn't involved to find a place that you would like to be involved and become engaged in the community to make it better than what it is today. So,
Agreed.
what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson.
I move that we approve the appointment of Kimberly Swift to the Redford Township Festival Committee, term ending December 31, 2027.
Support.
Supported by Trustee Reese. So the motion is the appointment of Kimberly Smith to the Redford Township Festival Committee, term ending 12/31/27. Hearing other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Supervisor McCray, what I'm in need of is every time that the township does business with a different depository or bank depository and/or broker, I need to amend the resolution that I have brought forth. We are now doing business through the employees OPEB with the Riemann Capital Advisory Group. Also, many times I also bring up the depository amending is because a lot of the banks also change their names. So that is also what I try to keep up with as to any name changes or financial institutions that we do business with. So if I could, I would like to have an approval of the amended official depositories and/or brokers resolution.
Support.
So you made the motion, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Got support, discussion. Hearing no discussion, no, roll call vote.
Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor,
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee King,
Yes.
Trustee Reese,
Yes.
Supervisor McCray.
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you.
Director Stokes.
Good evening once again. I'm coming before you to ask for your approval for the appointment of a new senior citizen and veterans coordinator, Sydney Stites. She has a degree in recreational therapy and psychology from Grand Valley State University and is a certified therapeutic recreation specialist. We interviewed her as a panel, and all of us felt extremely strong that she would fit in very well here in Redford Township, as well as provide amazing services with our senior citizens and veterans. If you'd like, I can have her come up and tell you a little about herself.
Please do.
All right.
Hello, I'm Sydney. Like Teresa said, I got my degree from Grand Valley. I've been working in senior living for the majority of my life, and I'm ready to just make the change to more of a community-based position, and I'm excited to hopefully serve the residents of Redford and see what I can do. So, it's nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Okay, so at this time, I'm asking for the approval of the appointment of Sydney Stites to the Senior Citizen and Veterans Coordinator as grade 3, step 4.
What's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson.
I move that we approve the appointment of Sydney Sykes as Redford Township Senior Citizen and Veterans Coordinator in the Leisure Services Department at a grade 3, step 4.
Support.
Support by Treasurer Kavanaugh. The motion is to approve the appointment of Sydney Sites as the Redford Township Senior Citizen and Veterans Coordinator in Leisure Services Department at grade 3, step 4. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Reese,
Yes.
Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor,
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Treasurer Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor McCray.
Yes, motion carries. Welcome.
Thank you, and we're looking to have her start next Tuesday, so she should be on staff soon then.
Oh, man. Can't wait. Thank you. Next, Fire Chief Demoff.
Good evening, Honorable Board. I'm here tonight to request the approval to purchase, actually, when I sent the memo, it was listed as a 2024 Medics Rescue. It's actually going to be a 2025 Medics Rescue F550 from Medics is the company. It's the company we've ordered our last 3 rescues from, in the amount of $321,752. This will come out of our fire vehicle replacement plan that we've put together over the last few years, and it will not go into effect into the 26-27 budget. They're about 16 to 18 months out for the build. So I'm asking for approval now so we can get it in before it takes even longer and the dollar amount goes even higher.
Director Bonner. Since this is not going to affect this budget, should we be approving this now to purchase?
Yes.
2 years from now?
Mr. Supervisor, and we've actually had to do this with the last medic that medic, is that the right word? The squad.
The squad and the
engine. But if I may at this moment, I'd like to ask the question of, is this the same company that we ordered the engine from?
No, different company. The engines are through Sutphin.
So do we feel, because we were supposed to receive an engine this fiscal year and it's been delayed, even though you ordered it back in 2022.
Yeah.
Do we think this one will actually come when they're projecting it to come?
I just talked to him just before. That's why I knew that model changed to a 2025. He's saying at the earliest 16 months to 18, it shouldn't be a problem. So that will put it right about July of 26.
Okay. But yes, it's perfectly permissive for you to do this now. It's the only way to lock in the pricing.
Okay. Questions from the board?
To the chair.
Trustee Taylor.
Any funds up front when ordering?
No.
And is this in line with the replacement plan? Is this early, is this late? Is it falling right in line with the plan that y'all?
Falling
set
right
up?
in line, maybe a little bit higher in the dollar amount, just because the cost of everything has gone up.
Right.
But it's right in timeframe.
Right in the replacement
Yep.
timeframe. And this, the F-550, is that the little snub nose looking medic truck? Not the big?
Not the big fire engine, this is the
No,
smaller,
no, not the
yeah,
fire
yeah,
engine,
this
but the
is the
big
smaller
rescues that we
Fords.
used to have, we're going
Correct.
all fleet with the smaller Fords?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And this one, we're going with a gas engine instead of a diesel. I've heard a lot of good things about that. Maintenance costs and everything will be hopefully lower. From what I've talked to other fire chiefs, going with the gas engine actually has done them better through their maintenance program.
Do we find that these 550s are more reliable than the big old rescue that we had?
Yeah, the bigger rescues that we used to go with, they just became so big, and the amount of times we use them down the road, there was so much wear and tear on the suspension and the brakes, and because it was such a bigger truck, your brake jobs cost about $3,000 to $4,000 for an average brake job. With these, we're on the half that cost.
Maintenance is considerably lower.
Maintenance is definitely cheaper because it's a truck that's used on a regular basis.
Do we have any of those bigger ones still in the fleet, or will this
This will replace the last one.
will replace the last one?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And then from this point going forward, we can continue to order these, and then we can look at some of the ones that have not as much wear and tear on them, actually would do what's called a remount. And we take the box off the rescue
Thought you could-
and put it on a chassis, and it'll save you half the cost.
Okay.
So once we get them all into our fleet, we can kind of start looking at every other one, and depends on how the wear and tear of the boxes, because they are all aluminum. They don't rust, it's just a matter of how the interior, which is made of wood, stands up to, 7
So you
years.
could
of use.
order a chassis and the actual unit and just remove the actual
Correct,
box.
it'll be sent back to medics, they'll take the box off, put it on the new truck, and then get it certified by the state to actually be used for an ambulance.
Very cool.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Other questions from the board?
Not a question, Mr. Chair. I just want to make a comment. I think it's prudent that we make this purchase at this time because really it's not a such thing as a fully American vehicle. And if tariffs are instituted, we don't know what's going to happen with the cost of many products.
Other questions, comments from the board?
Just one more. Supervisor McCray, does this actually lock in this purchase price if we
Yes.
order it now?
Yes.
There won't be any increase?
There's no
Okay.
price increase at all.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
The chair.
Trustee Reese.
I move for approval of the Redford Township Fire Department purchasing a 2025 Medics F-550 Rescue Squad in the amount of $321,752 from Medics Specialty Vehicles, Elkhart, Indiana. Funding will be allocated from GL 33613-977021 Fire Equipment Vehicles.
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Kavanaugh. Okay, the motion is to approve the approval of the Redford Township Fire Department purchasing of a 2025 Medics F-550 Rescue Squad in the amount of $321,752 from Medics Specialty Vehicles, Elkhart, Indiana. Funding will be allocated in the amount of $321,000. Oh, I'm reading it wrong, sorry. For medics vehicle, and funding will be allocated from GL 33613-977021 fire equipment vehicles. Any other questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Police Chief Mansfield.
Good evening again, Honorable Board. I am also here to ask for approval to purchase some items, but you'll be happy to know they're not that big. They're little ones. So, if I have my pecking order correct, the first thing I am going to ask is for approval to purchase 5 True Speed LiDARs. What's a LiDAR? That's our laser traffic reading devices that our officers use on the road to enforce speeders. This will be a total amount of $7,175. That breaks down to $1,435 apiece, and this money will be covered by the 2023 JAG grant, Justice Assistance Grant. So guess what? Grant money.
Questions from the board?
To the chair.
Trustee Jackson.
Chief, how much time do we get to spend the money from our JAG grants?
It's a rotating, we usually get 2 to 3 years before they close. I've been doing pretty good at catching up and utilizing our funds that we've had in the past. I promise you, we have not lost a penny.
Do we have to apply for those, or do they just allocate different?
We must apply for them every year, and I will talk a little bit more about that in 2 items from now. We'll be accepting one.
I can wait.
Other questions from the board?
To the chair.
Trustee Reese.
Chief, is there a difference other than just that these are newer models in the functionality of these versus what we were using? I know it said the previous models were, some of them, decades old.
Correct. We've got some up there that are probably older than some of the people in the room here. No, the functionality is all pretty much the same. These are just newer, they're ready to go, and the other ones would have cost way too much to repair. It just wasn't a cost-effective move.
Thank you.
Other questions from the board?
To the chair?
Trustee Kavanaugh.
It's all right.
You guys are all sounding the same with
Hey, he hasn't demoted me yet, so give it a minute.
Not this, not yet.
Not tonight.
Not yet. You got
Yeah,
3
just
more
wait.
chances.
I move to approve the Redford Township Police Department purchasing of 5 Trust Speed LiDARs in the amount of $7,175 from Laser Tech Centennial Company. Funding will be allocated from the 2023 JAG grant.
Support.
So I think I heard a support from Trustee Jackson. So the motion is approval of the Township Police, Redford Police Department, purchasing of 5 True Speed LiDARs in the amount of $7,175 from Laser Tech Centennial, Colorado. Funding will be allocated from the 2023 JAG grant. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries.
Next.
Chief, you're up again.
All right. I am also asking you to approve the purchase. It's a bunch of letters, but we call it the Oscar 360 High Resolution Capture Kit. This is a camera system that our Detective Bureau, and specifically our evidence-trained officers over there, will utilize to document different crime scenes. And excuse me, the importance of this has mostly to do with prosecution. For the prosecutors to be able to walk a jury and walk a judge through a scene in 360 angle. The best thing I can describe it to you guys are the real estate walkthrough videos that you guys are now seeing online all the time, where you can literally just walk through a house and push a button and make a turn and make a turn. This does the exact same thing, but it also does 360 everywhere it's at. It incorporates photo evidence so that if we have a fingerprint, my detective can link the fingerprint, push a button, and boom, we can now show the jury exactly where that fingerprint is. So this is a really cool tool. We all know that new technology is a big thing in law enforcement, and this is something that's going to move our Detective Bureau up in the ranks, and I'm very excited for this. This is also an item that will be purchased out of 2023 JAG funds in the amount of $11,841. If you would be so inclined to approve.
Questions from the board?
To the chair.
Trustee Jackson.
Is one of these enough, or will we need to buy additional ones?
No, one of these should be more than adequate. This will be utilized primarily between our current 2 evidence-trained technicians, soon to be 3. So this is not something that's going to be tossed around in the back of a patrol car. This is something that on a major scene, or sometimes even just a simple burglary, that our detectives will be able to take out with an evidence tech and use it. God willing, we won't be using it as often as it sounds.
To the chair,
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
will this use up the 2023 JAG grant?
Within a few dollars, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
To the chair.
Trustee Reeves?
Chief, I noticed it says there's 2 software components that are required that include 1 year upgrades, maintenance, setup, software updates. Is that the recurring annual cost then moving forward, that price, or is it vary after that?
No, the ongoing subscription price is much cheaper.
Okay.
I don't want to speak out of turn. I want to say it's something like $1,000 a year. Don't hold me to that one. I can get you exact numbers if you would like. But that's something that we're already prepared to absorb. Subscription fees are not something that is eligible for a JAG grant. That's not something they're willing to cover.
So this is like an elevated level of support for the first year while you're getting onto the system, and then it would move to a lower tier, just standards?
Yes, sir. Something we could just do little updates on, and hopefully if there's bugs, they'll fix it.
To the chair.
Trustee Taylor?
Lastly, Chief, by upgrading our technology, does this help towards accreditation?
To be fair, I don't think that there's a specific line item, but it will certainly help us in that area, just because I am hoping that we will get a higher closure rate and a higher success rate as far as convictions.
Okay.
But no, there's no checkbox for accreditation for this.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions from the board? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair.
Trustee Taylor?
I move that we approve the Redford Township Police Department in purchasing the Oscar 360 high-resolution capture kit in the amount of $11,841 from Eltron Company in Victor, New York. The funding will be allocated from the 2023 JAG grant.
Support.
Support by Trustee Jackson. You all right? Very
low.
We got to turn the volume down here a little bit. Okay, the motion is for approval of the Redford Township Police Department purchasing of Oscar 360 high-resolution capture kit in the amount of $11,841 from Eltron Company, Victor, New York. Funding will be allocated from the 2023 JAG grant. Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries. Well, Chief, it's time for your encore,
All right.
or one of the encores.
One of, yes, sir.
One, yeah, get 2 more.
2 more.
So I've been talking about the 2023 JAG, and Trustee Jackson, to answer your question, I am now asking for the approval of the board to accept the 2024 JAG grant in the amount of $17,319. So a JAG grant is a Justice Assistance Grant. This is coming in from the government. What happens is these grants that we are getting are actually administered by Wayne County. So each year, my administrative captain is applying for the grant from Wayne County. And then they have some magic formula that says how much of the larger grant each community gets. And then they let us know. This year, our allocation is $17,319. We have been getting this grant successfully for as far back as I can remember. And it's usually used for specific technology type upgrades. And that's why you have seen in the past, we brought the crash investigation unit and items like that. Also the lasers, that's a technology item. The camera system that you just approved, that's a technology item. And of course, my next one is another technology item I'll talk about in a minute. When you make your motion, Board, if you don't have any other questions for me on this one, I request that you accept the approval as well as grant Supervisor McCray the ability to sign both the MOU and the IGA.
Questions from the board? Hearing no questions from the board, what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson.
I move for the approval to accept $17,319 from the 2024 JAG grant administered by Wayne County and approve Supervisor McCray to sign the MOU and whatever else.
And the IGA, intergovernmental agreement.
Support.
Support. The motion is to give the approval to accept $17,319 for the 2024 JAG grant administered by Wayne County and approve the supervisor as the authorized signer for the IGA and the MOU. Any other questions?
To the chair. Just one quick one. Chief, where does this amount fall in with what we average yearly up on the grants at the 17.3? Is that right about?
It's a little lower.
It is.
It's a little bit lower. I don't have the answer as to why. I'm going to assume, big word, assume that there was less money in the pot.
Okay. All right, that's just curious. Thank you.
Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor,
Yes.
Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Treasurer Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Trustee Reese,
Yes.
Supervisor McCray.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Board. As promised, I have printed copies with little signy slips for you, sir. I will deliver that momentarily.
All right,
And lastly, I am now here to ask you to approve the purchase of an item using the 24 grant that you just agreed to accept. What-
why wait?
Spend it quick.
What I would like to spend these dollars on is an ID Networks live scan machine. Lots of big words. What does that mean? Essentially, that is our fingerprint and mugshot machine that's back in our jail. The one that we have is a bazillion years old. It's currently going through a lot of bugs. We've been having a lot of problems with it, and it's just simply going to cost too much to update it and repair it. And now is a good time to get it replaced as we're starting to coordinate some other systems like our dispatch center. So what I'm asking is for the approval to purchase an ID Networks live scan machine in the amount of $14,590, utilizing funds from the 2024 JAG grant. No, I did not spend it all yet.
Close. Close.
Okay, questions from the board? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Reese.
I move for approval of the Redford Township Police Department purchasing an ID Networks live scan machine in the amount of $14,590 from ID Networks Incorporated, Ashtabula, Ohio. Funding will be allocated from the 2024 JAG grant.
Support.
Support by Trustee King. The motion is for approval of the Redford Township Police Department purchasing of ID Networks live scan machine in the amount of $14,590 from ID Networks Incorporated from Istanbul, Ohio. Funding will be allocated from the 2024 JAG grant. Any other questions, comments? Roll call vote.
Trustee Reese,
Yes.
Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor,
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Treasurer Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Supervisor McCray.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, next is new business. Anyway, next is new business number 11, Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Supervisor McCray. I move to approve the request to delay the due date of the 2024 winter tax statement for qualified senior citizens, paraplegic, quadriplegic, hemiplegic, totally and permanently disabled blind person, eligible servicemen or servicewoman, eligible veteran, or an eligible surviving spouse of a veteran. Payment must be made no later than April 30th of 2025 to avoid penalty and interest. To qualify, you must be a member of one of the groups listed above, have filed your homestead property tax credit claim with the Department of Treasury by February 16th of 2025, must not receive your credit payment by February 16th of 2025, apply to your treasurer by February 16th of 2025. That's it.
I'm tired.
Support.
Oh, was that support?
Me, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Taylor, any discussion? Hearing none, well, I'm not gonna have to read this. Okay, all right. So the motion is to approve the request to delay the due date of the 2024 winter tax statement for qualified senior citizens, paraplegic, quadriplegic, hemiplegic, totally and permanently disabled, blind person, eligible servicemen or servicewomen, eligible veterans, or the eligible surviving spouse of a veteran. Payments must be made no later than April 30th, 2025 to avoid penalty and interest.
Yes.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
That brings us to announcements. Okay, all right, just quick two. Yep. And first off, I want to again talk about Martin Luther King Community Prayer Breakfast event. It's a big event that we have once a year. The time is a little later for those that have trouble getting up that early, so it got moved back the time. But we are looking for people to call and let us know you're coming, because we're trying to plan for food. The feedback has been slow in coming, so if you've intended to go and just haven't reached out to us, please do reach out to us. And also know that they're also looking for donations as well as the fee of like toothpaste, feminine products, deodorant, hand soap, body soap, diapers, Depends, etc. They're also looking for some seasonings, spices, garlic powder, Italian season, or onion seasoning. So please reach out and let us know you're coming to the breakfast, and hopefully we'll see everybody there. And those that are planning to come, please, again, reach out, because we need to get a number. We want to make sure we have enough breakfast to feed.
Phone number.
Okay, hold on. Shh. Teresa, give me a phone number. 387-2787. 387-2787.
Okay, same place as last year?
We're going to be at Thurston High School.
9
Yes.
o'clock, she said?
9 o'clock, yes, sir. Okay, the other one is, while we're feeling the gift of charity and goodness, on Friday, January 24th, Redford Interfaith will be working with Murphy's Restaurant to, they open up in the evening, 5 to 8. They have a limited menu. You can order in and stay in. They'll have baskets and different things to raise money. And if you want to grab it and go, you can call in and order and get carry out. But please support this, because the money goes to Redford Interfaith. The only thing that Murphy's Restaurant does take is the cost of the food. The waitresses, all their tips, everything all goes to Redford Interfaith. It's a great thing that Murphy's Restaurant does for our community. So, with no other business to come before the board, this meet. What?
Go Lions.
Go Lions. Go Lions.
Yeah.
Okay. This meeting's adjourned.
7:33.
I know. What the
When in
heck?
doubt,
What the
Right?
heck?
well.